Hey guys, today's video is going to be mine and Wyatt's 8-month baby update and postpartum update. If you're new here, hi, my name is Emily. If you enjoy mommy related content, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. There will be a giveaway once we hit 100 subscribers, and without further ado, let's get into this. I have a ton to share with you this month where Wyatt is concerned. I ran out of room on my little page of notes here. Even though I just filmed and uploaded his 7-month update, I was really sure not to include anything that happened after that time frame, if that makes sense. So actually a lot has changed and I have a lot to talk to you about, even though I think it was 2 videos ago that my 7-month update went live, but I was long overdue on that video and I'm actually filming this one pretty much on time. Today is January 11th as I'm filming this. He turned 8 months old on January 9th. So pat on the back for me because I'm always way behind, but I'm trying to get my shit together. If you watched my New Year's resolutions video, you would know what I mean. But let me stop rambling. Let's get into this. These aren't in any really particular order. I just jotted down things that were happening. So I'm going to start with his top right tooth. The first time it made its appearance was December 13th, so it's been a month and it still has not completely dropped down. It is right at the edge of his gums, and if he bites on something that's a little more solid, which I'll get into his eating habits here in a little bit, but if he bites onto something that's a little more solid, or maybe he bites a toy really hard, it punctures through and his gums bleed and he's really sore. He's having a hard time with this tooth, but then it seems to heal over. This is now, I think, the 4th time that I've seen this tooth. It's currently poking out, a little corner is poking out right now, but this tooth has yet to drop down and I can see it. Like completely under the gums, there's a huge lump. You can tell it's a tooth and the little corner keeps poking through, but it won't like drop down into place. So he's been a little more fussy than usual, but he's still a completely happy baby. But yeah, it's been a month and that tooth has still not come down. He can now sit unassisted if he's set there. So he still doesn't go from like his belly or back and gets up into a seated position, but if I set him somewhere, he will stay sitting there. He has not really had a bad fall for a long time, although yesterday he tried to make the sitting to crawling transition. This literally just started yesterday, and he lost his balance and then did a header right into like the corner of the door. So he does have a little purple mark on his poor little head, but other than that, he does sit up really well. He will lean over and reach for toys and then right himself again, but he doesn't go from his belly up to seated or from seated to his belly, at least not very gracefully. He will, if he really wants to go somewhere else, kind of dive for it and then get his arms and legs underneath him to crawl and go get something, but for the most part, he's just sitting right now. He's starting to get more hair. It's not really growing very long yet, but it's definitely getting thicker and it's coming in quite light. I've mentioned this before, but both Jeremy and I had blonde hair as small children. Jeremy has super dark brown hair now, and then this is the color of my hair, like a lighter brown shade now that I'm older. But as small kids, like think 5 and under, we had very blonde hair, so I wouldn't be surprised if Wyatt does as well. And since he's been getting more hair, he likes to let everybody know. So if we're visiting someone, it's almost like he runs his hand over his head, but it's only when people are around, I find. It's like he's telling them, like, have you noticed I now have luscious locks? Just wanted to let you know, because he doesn't really do it just sitting at home. Yeah, he will run his hands through his hair and just show everybody that he's not a bald baby anymore. He is a biter, and I'm trying so hard to nip this in the bud because I do not want a toddler that is a biter. And it's not like, oh, I'm teething so I'm going to bite on toys. I will give him a toy to bite on, but he will lean over and bite my arm, my leg. He's bitten my face, and he bites hard and does not like to let go. And I offer him plenty of things that he can chew on, but he prefers human flesh or your clothes. So I'm really trying to get him to stop, but right now, even a firm no, which worked while we were nursing when he bit me, if he's like biting your arm or your clothes, he will stop, but then he laughs because he thinks that it's funny. And I can assure you that I am being like giving him a very stern no, like not yelling at him, obviously he's an infant, but like to make sure he knows that I mean business, and he will look me straight in the eye and laugh at me. He thinks it's hilarious. I'm really sorry, I have something in my eyeball. I'm really trying to put a stop to this. Like I said before, he is a toddler. He's officially on the move. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that in my Insta stories. It was December 23rd. He made his first moves going forward. He doesn't really crawl. He doesn't get his knees like up underneath his butt. He more like swims. He's moving his feet. He's not just pulling himself along with his hands, but he makes like really exaggerated arm motions, and then his feet just kind of kick behind him, but he's like digging in with the tips of his toes to go forward. I'll try and get a better clip of him doing that so that maybe you can understand what I mean a little bit more. But he does go forward. He's moving fast, so I wouldn't call it crawling, but he's definitely on the move. Maybe he's one of those babies that will never crawl and will just go from, you know, how some kids like scooch along. He kind of swims along. Maybe he'll do that until he walks. I'm not really sure. A week ago, he started taking a sippy cup, which is a miracle. I mentioned before that he has refused to take a bottle. He did for the 10 days that I had an infection and had to take medication when he was like a brand new baby. And like since then, it's like, oh no, lady, you're not tricking me again. I'm not ever taking a bottle, and he won't take a sippy cup either. Until last week, he took a sippy cup, and he likes having water in it. I tried putting almond milk in it, and he doesn't really like that, but I think it's because it was kind of cold. So I'm going to try warming up some almond milk. He cannot have cow's milk yet because he's not a year old. I kind of don't really want to buy formula to put in it because I don't really want him having formula. So if he'll take almond milk, that would be great. If not, just water is fine. We are breastfeeding, but it's almost like I've become intolerant to the pump, like the breast pump. I'm not really sure what that's about, but I've tried pumping to put in his cereal multiple times and get hardly anything out yet. He's still nursing fine. He's still gaining weight. My boobs still feel full when they're full, but the pump's just not really working for me. I have read online that that does tend to happen sometimes as your babies get older. It's harder to pump milk out, so I'm just putting water in his cereal, but then I don't have any milk to then put in a sippy cup. So we'll see how that progresses, I guess. The kid loves to eat. He has liked every single thing put on his plate except for a potato, broccoli, cheese concoction that came in a jar. It smelled bad, it looked bad. He literally gagged when I put it in his mouth, so I don't blame him at all. It looked vile. But he likes the mushed up peas, the green beans, the typical things that a lot of babies don't like, he does like. He's still indifferent to mashed potatoes and avocado, stuff like that. The more bland foods he doesn't really like, but he eats them. Like, he doesn't gag on them, like that casserole, the potato casserole thing I gave him. In the morning, he's now eating the stage 3 cereal, I guess, just for more iron because he's not eating a lot of meat products yet. So I want to make sure he's getting the iron that he needs. So I do continue to give him cereal, but he's on a stage 3, so it's a lot thicker, and it has like mango and banana and pear in it as well. It's one of those mixture cereals. He likes that in the morning. He's starting to steal food off our plates. I am not doing baby-led weaning because the kid loves food so much. He rarely chews. He's now starting to a little bit more, so we are giving him a little more of our food if we are careful and put it in really small bites. I'm starting to get him to chew we started with the yogurt bites, the freeze-dried yogurt little swirls, because you kind of have to chew those, but it still like liquefies back into yogurt, so I wasn't scared of him choking. And now we've moved on to those little finger like puffs, I guess. They're like little star shapes. They still melt in your mouth, but they have different flavors. He likes the banana ones right now because he's also learning the pinching motion to pick things up. Before, he would just like grab it and he wouldn't be able to get anything in his mouth because it would all be stuck in the palm of his hands. But the last week or two, he's been practicing the pinching motion and he's been getting a lot better at that. And so I've been starting to give him food off my plate at meal times because he does eat with us, just usually a puree or a different, mashed up type of food. I was trying to incorporate a little bit of baby-led weaning as well as purees a few months ago. And I had continued to, every few days, kind of give him something soft. But he likes food so much, he would just take a huge bite of whatever I gave him, whether it be toast, a banana, an avocado. I've given him apple slices. He takes such a big bite, which in theory he could chew if he would be patient enough to mush it up in his mouth. I know tons of babies are baby-led weaned and do it successfully, but he would just immediately try and swallow it. And this was even at the very beginning, so it's not because, yes, I had been giving him purees that he didn't have to chew. I do incorporate things he has to chew a little bit more, but he was choking to the point of vomiting. I found it terrifying, and if I'm not comfortable, I don't want to give him food anxiety while he's watching me be anxious while he's eating. So for our family, it's just best to go with purees, and I'm like gradually changing things so that he will maybe be sitting at the table eating what we're eating a little bit faster than Max was, for example. We do lots of things in those mesh bags. So he has something to hold and to feed himself with. I've given him the spoon himself plenty of times, and he's practicing getting that into his mouth. And I do give him puffs or similar products at mealtime so he can practice picking things up and bringing them to his mouth. So he's not only spoon fed, but I don't feel comfortable giving him big chunks of food yet because, like I said, he chokes and projectile vomits with everything I've given him, even soft toast. He'll now give kisses and blow kisses. His kisses are like the open mouth, drool all over your face type kisses, but I love it. And he blows kisses by going, like, he doesn't close his mouth like we would do, but he does that, and it's super cute. And if you say blow a kiss, occasionally he will do it. He's putting two and two together as to what that means. He has developed separation anxiety from me. If I try and leave the room with him in it, he most likely will scream unless Max or Jeremy is in the room with him, which even then sometimes he'll scream anyways. He wants to be with me all of the time, which is hard through the day sometimes because now I can't even run up to pee without him coming with me, when before, like when he was a super small baby, he obviously had to come with me, but then once he was getting a little more independent, I could put him in his exerciser or something and I knew he'd be fine for the 5 seconds it would take for me to run up the stairs and run back down. But now he needs to come with me. I can't do anything without him. When he gets tired, he has started to rub his eyes in the stereotypical cute baby way. Before he would just kind of do it whenever, but now when he's tired, he's yawning, he's rubbing his eyes. It is adorable. Ever since Christmas, naps and bedtime have been a huge issue. Ever since the living room and dining room got rearranged and the Christmas tree was put up, he did not want to take naps. It would take me 3 hours to get him to go to bed. He would fall asleep, I'd put him in his bed, he would scream. I'd rock him back to sleep, put him in his bed, he would scream. Literally 3 hours of this until he would finally knock out for the night. It has started to improve now that the living room is back to how it was and the Christmas tree is down. Literally the day the Christmas tree was out the door, he went to bed much better. And twice now, Jeremy has been able to put him to bed without me. He usually had to nurse to sleep, but last month he had started going to sleep with me without nursing to sleep, like being rocked to sleep, but now Jeremy has been able to do it twice. So that is really great. So I can go back to reading a story to Max, things like that at bedtime, because I had to stop because Wyatt was being so difficult and going to bed. So we're starting to get back into a bedtime routine that works for everyone, because poor Max was just kind of left out a little bit because me and Jeremy were both trying to deal with the screaming baby that had been screaming for hours, and Max was having to essentially put himself to bed, not completely alone, but he wasn't getting a book read to him and all of that, but now we're getting back to that. Sometimes when he gets mad, he pulls on his ears really hard, which then makes him more mad because that hurts. I actually hear him waking up, so I'll be right back. Did you just wake up? He's a little bit cranky because he literally just woke up. Say hello. Yeah? What's Mom doing? So he's going to join us for the rest of this video. As I was saying, when he gets mad, he will pull on his ears sometimes. Not all the time. He definitely has been doing that. And lastly, for him, we did just buy him a convertible car seat, like the rear-facing bigger car seat. He is, I think, 1 or 2 pounds away from being too heavy for his infant car seat. He is between 21 and 22 pounds now. Yes, you are. And his infant car seat only goes to 23 pounds. So we did buy that. I haven't installed it in my car yet, though, because I need to get him a thin fleece snowsuit. It's very cold here, especially in the mornings when we have to drop Max off at school. And if he's in the convertible car seat, I need to unbuckle him and take him out to drop Max off at school, and it's way too cold for him to just be in like the warm socks and sweater and a blanket, which I had him in previously, because I could like tuck the blanket around him, make sure he's nice and warm after he was buckled in, and hat and mitts and stuff like that, of course. But if he is strapped into the car seat and I need to take him out with me to get Max, I feel like he needs to be in something a little warmer. I'm not going to put him in the big puffy snowsuit that I do have, because that's not safe. If heaven forbid we are ever in an accident, he could be ejected from his car seat if he were in a big puffy snowsuit, which is the only one that I have right now. So I'm looking for one of the thin fleece baby snowsuits, like the one piece with the feet and everything. If you know of where I can buy one of those, let me know. I was thinking of looking at Joe Fresh and Carter's and maybe the Children's Place. I'm sure one of those places have something like that. And then he will be in the rear-facing big boy car seat. I believe that's everything for Wyatt. Now on to me, postpartum. I am still slowly dropping the weight. I've definitely lost another pound or 2 since the last video, which I'm super excited about. And I have been doing the Tone It Up workouts when I can. It's not realistic for me to work out for an hour every single day, but when I do have the time, I do the daily moves that they have free on their website, which is just toneitup.com. And I had also signed up for their 5-day detox plan, which is every single meal and workout planned out for you for 5 days. I didn't stick to it to the T, but I now have all of those recipes, which I have been making to help me eat a little better. I am bad at meal prepping or planning meals ahead of time, so then it gets busy or hectic and I don't have a plan for supper, so I end up going for something quick and easy like Hamburger Helper, which is so bad for you. So I've been trying to do better at meal prepping and prepping at least my lunches, because I was eating like Mr. Noodles or Kraft Dinner or a sandwich for lunch instead of proper food. So like I made some soups that I will have. I'll just be able to heat those up for lunchtime, and I can make those in bigger batches. So I feel like that has helped a lot. And I still need nursing pads. I don't know if I mentioned this in my last one. I don't remember. But I had thought, I did not breastfeed Max, and I am breastfeeding Wyatt. So I was totally unprepared for needing nursing pads. I thought maybe for 2 or 3 months tops. So he's now 8 months old and I still need them. Not always, but probably 50% of the time, if he's nursing on one side, my milk drops down in the other side as well. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. So if I don't have a nursing pad on, I'm like leaking through my shirt on one side while he's nursing on the other. Yeah. And then through the night, if he sleeps through the night, I definitely need nursing pads, because or else my boobs will leak all over the bed, and then that's just disgusting. I have to wash all of the sheets and my pajamas and all that, obviously. So yeah, I still need nursing pads, and sometimes if he's eating a lot of food that day and doesn't nurse as often, I still get a little bit engorged, which I also was not expecting to happen this late in the game, but it is. Now I'm going to show you my 8-month belly. I don't think it has changed very much from last month, since I showed you at the end of December, just before Christmas, so it's been about 2.5 weeks since you've seen it last. But I will show you again, and let's see if we see any difference, I guess. I don't expect there to be much of a difference, but my skin and stuff is definitely getting tighter, and of course I've dropped another pound or two, so I will have to put this baby down. Okay, so you're a little crooked. Sorry about that, but I had to set you back a lot further. So this is what I'm looking like with my shirt on. And this is what I'm looking like with my shirt up. I feel like I've come in a lot since last month. Like, there is a clear line of definition right here where all the skin is tightening up really well. I still have a lot of loose skin here. It still hangs down much lower than I obviously want it to, but I'm getting tighter in through here. Like, this is shrinking and shrinking. So hopefully eventually it will go back. All of my stretch marks are looking pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the progress I've made in the last month or so. So that is everything for Wyatt's 8-month baby update and my 8-month postpartum update. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Whoa. Bye!